Midnight Soul Serum.
Welcome to the podcast of Midnight Soul Serum. I'm your host, Mac Black, and today's episode is just going to be a short introduction about the podcast, the things we talk about, as well as an introduction to myself. As far as the podcast, if you're able to see the graphic, you'll see it's a variety of things to be discussed. Everything from UFOs to poly relationships to Bigfoot to cannabis to chakras to religions to Ouija boards, Papa Midnight, Masonry. It's unlimited. I do not claim to be an expert on any of these topics. This is basically a wide open podcast show to talk about things that most people don't feel comfortable talking about because they think somebody's going to look at them and think they're crazy for thinking that way, or they're going to feel dismissed about the things they've experienced. So with that being said, I will always entertain government conspiracies, ideologies, even religious conspiracies. The one thing that we will not do on this show is we will not emphasize any political party and try to sway people's opinion of that party, as well as religious ideas. I don't come on here to make anybody feel that their religion is wrong or their way of thinking is wrong. That's not the purpose of the show. With that being said, I'll go into a little bit about myself. Grew up in Arkansas, joined the military, spent quite a few years in Oklahoma. For me, myself, I started having paranormal experiences at a very early age. And I don't want to get all off into some of the stories of those because I will discuss those in later shows. In the military, I was a instructor, aerial surveillance technician. Even before I was in the military, I had experiences with UFOs and other phenomena that, again, like I said, when it comes time for me to discuss those topics, I will discuss them on that particular episode. I am soon to be hitting the century mark, the big 50. I've been wanting to do this podcast for some time. Just making excuse after excuse, putting it off. But I'm here, we're here. I want to hear from everybody, Right now, this first episode, this introduction, of course, is just going to be all voice, no video links. However, if you do have videos or photos that you want to be shown on the show, you can email us at midnightsoulserum@gmail.com, and I will have no issues putting those up for other people to see and look at, as well as our channel that is on YouTube under the same name, Midnight Soul Serum, MIDNIGHTSOULSERUM, because sometimes people these days spell things just however they want to spell it, and that's just not what we're going to do. I do have certain reoccurring guests that are lined up for the show. Out of Oklahoma, we have the great, I call him the great. He's a great friend of mine. He is one of the resident cannabis experts that we have lined up, the Reverend Tater. We have a couple of guests that want to talk about poly relationships that they've been in, some of the misconceptions of what it is to be poly and how America views it, how it's viewed in other places, and now why it seems to be gaining such traction. Enough about that. We talk about Bigfoot. We can talk about the Yeti. We can talk about poltergeists. haunted houses, haunted woods, uh, every range of experience that you've had is open here. You know, I would love to entertain people that were active duty, that seen things that may or may not get talked about or may get laughed off, or things that just never make the mainstream media. You know, that's why we're here. Like I said, I knew this introduction was going to be short. Me myself, I was born in Kokomo, Indiana. You know, my father was active duty, and we moved around. We didn't move around a lot. It's like once we got to Arkansas, it's like boom, there we there. We were stuck. Interesting thing is everybody in my family is born in Arkansas but me. So that's a whole nother thing. You know, like I said, the Gmail is Midnight Soul Serum at gmail.com. We'll have the YouTube channel up. We do have certain products being printed up with our art graphic on there that once you check that out, I'm sure you'll see that this is a just wide variety of things to be discussed. Yes, I love shows like Paranormal Caught on Tape. I love watching Expedition Bigfoot. I love Ancient Aliens. You know, Aliens in Alaska. All of that. You know, it's because of the things I've experienced in my life that people just glaze over. So it's gonna be a great season. Buckle up, get strapped in. I will say this: there may or may not be times on the show where me and a guest may be partaking in our own particular drinks and maybe a few other things. I am also here to learn. So, you know, if you are an expert or have extensive experience with mushrooms or acid drips, or like I said, from your experiences, we'd love to hear it. And that's what we're here for. We're not here to bash anybody. You know, we're not here to joke about anybody's experiences. You know, you have people that have experiences with Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever, and the main reason they never come forward is because of the ridicule. Same thing with ghosts, spirits, UFOs. You know, the mainstream just ridicules these people because they're like, you surely couldn't have that going on. As well as, you know, we can talk about Moldavite, we can talk about chakras, we can talk about light work, energy, we can talk about shadow work. This is your safe place to discuss it. It's nothing but an open book here. So until we talk until the very first episode that will be soon after this introduction episode, everybody stay safe. We are in some crazy times, and I know that sounds odd because growing up I've heard that like at least once every decade. Man, these are some crazy times. I'll never remember the world being this crazy. I'm like, well, you know, it's like it just goes in shifts and waves, you know. So again, even if you want to talk about mermaids and sirens, especially mermaids, because I live close to the ocean, I am on Atlantic Standard Time. And if you want to talk about mermaid sirens or how to see one, man, definitely let me know. I don't think I want to get close. You know, there's some things I experience from a distance. You know, I'm just not that trustworthy of anything that lives under the ocean or in the ocean. You know, maybe if there was a different way of communication and we could form a bond to where there was some trust, maybe. But yeah, I don't even swim like that, fam. So that's just what it is. So again, I'm glad you found the show. I hope you click in, follow us, like us, recommend us to people who have had experiences, and we're the outlet. Thanks and welcome to Midnight Soul Serum.
Midnight Soul Serum.